Hi, it's 975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version on Xbox. And here I am in a cutter trying to interdict a python for a bit of piracy. Because that's what I do, I'm a roleplay pirate. Now, if you're a new player to Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version or Elite Dangerous on the live version, I would highly recommend you learn to escape and evade. This gentleman should not be trying to fight my interdiction. What he should be doing is submitting. Because if he submits, he won't be trapped with me for 40 seconds. Now, that's a valuable lesson to learn as a new player. One that I had to learn, and every player has to learn. Also, if you try and low wake on somebody, you'll get mass locked if they're in the bigger ship. However, if you high wake, there's no mass lock factor. And in fact, the best thing to do is submit. Use every defensive thing you have, chaff, heat sinks, and just high wake to another system immediately. That's the safest bet. As a pirate, I prefer it if they do a bit of roleplay. That's why I message before I interdict. They know I'm a pirate, not a griefer or a ganker, and I'm only asking for cargo. That's part of the charm of being a pirate. Now, the game does warn you that if you play in open, you are going to run into other commanders. Now, open is completely free for people to do what they want in, so griefers do have a right to grief people. And in fact, the majority of time I hear the term griefer being applied to someone, it's usually just someone not knowing why they were killed. For example, here, I could quite happily kill this commander because he's pledged to Aisling Devour and I'm pledged to Archon the Lane, and I kill blue hairs. However, in this encounter I'm only looking to do piracy, so he's perfectly safe from me. I won't try and kill him. I will just ask him to allow me to scan him for cargo, and if he hasn't got any cargo, I'm just going to let him go, because that's how it works as a pirate. One of our rules in the Dark Orders is we wouldn't kill traders for no reason, and I wouldn't kill him. If I've sent him the message saying piracy or I'm stopped for scan, I'm not going to then switch up and kill him for power play. That's just not how I roll. However, if I sent him die, imp, die, that would be the indication I'm going to kill him for power play. Now, like I say, when you learn how to play the game and learn how to defend yourselves, it actually becomes really difficult for you to die. If you're not sticking around, it's quite hard to kill you. As long as you've done a modicum of engineering and know how to use your defensive stuff well. Like once you get to a ship that can have 1,000 shields, chaff and a heatsink, you're pretty much good to go. You can survive against anything, really. I mean, even a wing will struggle to do anything to you. Even a wing with a Grom Bomb will struggle if you have a fast boot FSD, because the Grom Bomb turns your FSD off. The fast boot FSD allows it to switch back on quicker, meaning you're invulnerable from Grom Bombs. But the most important advice I can give any new player is basically this. When it comes to dying in Elite Dangerous, there isn't a real harsh penalty. You lose your bounties, you lose Explorer data, but that's it. The other penalty is you take a rebuy. Obviously you lose any cargo on board, but with the ship blowing up, that's kind of obvious. But the rebuy on the ship is the other penalty, which is 5% of your ship's value. If you're a new player, then this is why I would always recommend, if you're a new player, learn to play in smaller ships, because it costs you less when you die. As you get more competent, then build up to the bigger ships, which cost a lot more money if you die. And only really fly something like an Anaconda when you're ready to, and have the engineering unlocked to make it survivable. Because trust me, that's a big barn of a target. And had I been out trying to murder imps on this day rather than just stopping for scans, these imps would have got rocked by some frags for sure. Now, the only rule in open, pretty much, is don't cheat. And the only real exploit that's going on at the moment is combat logging. Now, anyone who tells you it's fine to combat log, don't listen to them, because while you might not get banned, because FDev haven't banned anyone for a while, and while you are cheating, and what you're doing is against terms of service for both FDev and Xbox, it's not fine. People in the community don't like it. You'll get a lot of stick over it, and it's really not worth the nasty, unpleasant taste you'll get for being known permanently as a cheating scumbag. Many commanders do it. It's something that is heavily frowned upon. finally I do actually get some cargo. But like I say, it's one of those things, people who encourage other people to do it really shouldn't. It's not a good look on anyone. Being known as a cheat is never a good thing in an MMO. I personally would highly recommend avoiding anything that gives you that sort of reputation. And also, I don't think it's worth the risk, because FDev might only ban 1 in 1,000 people for doing it. But is it really worth risking your account over what? The cost of a rebuy? Or in the amount of cases, like the amount of people I know that have logged because I've asked for a few tons of cargo is hilarious. You know, yeah, it's not really worth it to cheat over a few tons of cargo or a rebuy. It's not really that much of a problem. It's not that much of a hassle. You know, there are circumstances where I feel sorry for people, like for example if someone's returned from a trip way out where exploring for 3 months and they come back and get ganked. That would be highly unfortunate and annoying, because there's a lot of data that would be lost. You know, but even then, if you take the right precautions and maybe hand that data in safely somewhere, you know, there's not that many players on Elite Dangerous on the Legacy version. On the Odyssey version there's tons of players, and obviously if you go to a high traffic system you're taking a huge risk. However, without risk, this game isn't Elite Dangerous, is it really? And I'll be honest, on the Legacy version on Xbox I don't feel there's much risk at all. I spend a lot of my time in trade ships, Type 9s, Type 7s, Type 6s, doing missions and flying around. Very rarely get attacked, very rarely get hassled. You know, I'm more likely to be attacked when I'm derping around in my pirate ships than I am any other time. Now, there is one specific group I'm thinking of that don't let them lead you astray, and that is PGLN. Their current leader, Owen, has this idea that combat logging is fine. He's very weird. He's built a list of people he's considered to be griefers. I don't know where he's come up with this list from, because the people on it are in a lot of ways not. I'm on it for being a pirate, which I don't mind, because, you know, when it comes to this sort of list,
what filthy piece of shit did I do now?
I mean, I'm by dint and definition an in-game bad guy. I'm being attacked in here because I'm in a pirate ship and there's a commander coming after me in a vulture who got annoyed by my beam lasers. Now, I am on this list, and I've seen the list and I've read through the names on it. I've laughed my butt off at some of the names on it. I've also laughed because, oddly enough, the people on the list are being described as gankers and sexual deviants. 30 names of known griefers and sexual deviants. Now, if Owen would like to tell me what my sexual deviancy is, I would love him to tell me, because that is definitely what I would consider defamation. I mean, I'm British. I've learned all about consent from tea.
Just imagine, instead of initiating sex, you're making them a cup of tea.
Now, I would love to know what this pathetic cheating rat is now accusing me of, because it is quite disgusting, bigoted and reactionary from him, to be honest. If he's putting this sort of false information out about the community at large, it's quite alarming. And also, I mean, how bigoted must you be that you think everyone on that list is something that you're just finding as a deviant? Yeah, you must have some real bigoted opinions. The reason I was jumping away was because it was a Type 9 that was coming in out of system, and I really wanted to check if it was in local. I wasn't looking for a fight. I was just trying to pirate. But yeah. Now, honestly, I just think this Owen being Owen, and he's maybe forgot to use a comma or two, or he's just being an absolute melt idiot like normal. I mean, here's one of his most recent claims, which is just idiotic in the extreme. To make it clear that these griefers do not care about logging whatsoever, we have proof of TOC griefer logging on a PGLN pilot. No, you have a video of someone going silent running, and we've all had a good laugh about you making yet another false accusation against someone because you're an idiot. Yeah, at this point it is getting cringy and embarrassing. He keeps making accusations against people, he keeps saying stuff and doesn't back it up, and when he does try and get into conversations about it, ends up deleting everything after he's made himself look like a right Rodney. Yeah, he's blocked me on Reddit, blocked me on the game. I'm actually glad I'm nowhere near him and have nothing to do with him, because he's just a pain in the butt. Literally, there's no fun to be had from this person other than salt mining him, because he is just an absolute melt of a human being. You know, if you disagree with him in any way, shape or form, he'll just block you. It's cringy and embarrassing, and I wish he'd stop making false accusations against people logging and false accusations about people being sexual deviants. It is kind of creepy, it is kind of obsessive, and like I say, it is clear defamation, because I bet he hasn't got proof of 30 people on that list or something or other that would be considered sexual deviancy. You know, absolute madness. At least I will happily own my mistakes and even point them out. Like, I didn't notice I'd missed one of the P's out of people on this meme that I made, but I'm still using it because I think the dyslexia adds to the fun of it. But yeah, he's definitely someone that just keeps spreading lies and hate about people and then calling them toxic. It's not a good look, it's embarrassing. Also, if your grand plan is to build an anti-griefer squadron... Oh, by the way, this is the view from my opponent, because he was pointing out that I was missing him by miles with my beams, but they were still hurting his shields. Yeah, unfortunately that's not a lot I can do about that. That's just the game. But yeah, he sent me a video and some messages after the fight. This is why he jumped out, because he was getting annoyed that I was taking his shields down while missing him by miles, and he was typing to me in disgust of this. But you know, if you are going to try and set up some sort of anti-griefer squadron to combat griefers in this game, or pirates, or whoever you consider to be bad guys, you know, you can't do it from a position of being cheats. It's not going to work. And also, your whole idea of consent for PvP just doesn't work within the parameters that FDev have set out for their own game. Power play is there for a reason, to facilitate PvP. Denying it is just making you seem really, really pathetic. And you know, I'm sorry to say, but no, consent doesn't work, because the game mechanics for BGS and the game mechanics for power play do not facilitate a consent-only system. If we had a consent-only system, there'd be a button like there is in No Man's Sky, and there isn't. So learn to live with it. And like I say, keep calm and carry on. That's all. Thank you very much for watching.